house and thought, oh, the lads are here, but the German tanks weren't ours.
This is bordering on the ridiculous, I know, but I really think that at some stage this is going to work if I persist. Now, everything is so strategically placed, it's almost like you can't miss, but obviously I'm going to miss. But when did I get here? I got here at 6:15, it's now 7:30. There's our audio recorder. He's facing the valley, obviously. It's pretty open over there. Just looking back quickly at the image caught by the plot watchers in the last video, I did go back to that area, found some hair samples which turned out to be marsupial. I stood in the same place as the subject, and without any backup evidence, I can't prove anything. Lots of activity in this new area, so we'll just have a look at the interesting stuff. The first visitor on the first night had plenty to say, and if anyone's remotely interested, put on some headphones and check out the murmuring type utterances which I couldn't enhance any further. I believe this is the intermediate type ones, and there is a report of one in this area. And there were jungle drums at this location, which I've never heard before. Plot watchers caught something interesting. This was just before dark on the first night, and it looks like something in a distant tree, which is odd because we don't have any large animals living in our trees. The next morning the cameras collected 3 other subjects, or the same subject, in 3 other trees. This one looks like a cat, but they all look like they're peeking at my gear. So this is the actual view from the rig, and if they are peeking at our gear from way off in the trees, then it's no wonder the trail cameras can't pick them up. To cut a long story short,
I was too lazy to wear my head cam and heard foot thumping on 2 occasions. On the second occasion, I was being approached while I was setting up the gear.
Cameras. Come on. Is our audio recorder? Doesn't really matter where it's facing. There's something here. It'll be interesting to see what we get. Hopefully we might get some nice tones or something like that. He's just over in the bush. I can hear him moving around. So there it is. There's the setup. And so they are quite capable of getting into the trees, which I just didn't know. I mean, you know, it was suggested to me, but I never saw any real evidence to suggest that that was the case. You know, I had recordings of them in the trees, but I didn't know. Anyway, we know there's something here. Let's see if we can talk to him. I'll keep the camera running. And by my side.
Nothing on the plot watchers except for this. Not sure what that is. The CCTV camera recorded over 700 files, and it is physically impossible to go through every one of them. So I have 2 plot watchers sitting in a desk at home. One will now watch the same location as the CCTV camera, and the other will be used as an extra pair of eyes. They will both have triple powered monoculars attached. The audio recorder collected another call and barking response. We had a visitor on the 4th night, and at the moment this is what I believe to be the intermediate species.
Okay, here we go again. There's the rig. You may notice up here that I've got a plot watcher facing exactly the same, pretty much close to the same height as the telescope. That's going to save me a lot of time looking through extra footage. So we're using one of the extra plot watchers, but 2 of the other plot watchers are at home getting fixed up a little bit better, so they're a bit more usable. Anyway, that's the rig. We're way up on top of a mountain. I've never been here before. Let's put the audio recorder out. There's our audio recorder and our USB power pack. So we are getting the entire week on audio now, from the moment I leave to the moment I come back. So it's really good. See where we are. We're out in the open. I do like to leave the audio recorders out in the open. It does encourage them to come up and have a bit of a peek. Anyway, see what happens.
The USB battery pack has already worked in our favour, and although there was minor activity here most of the week, on the 5th night we had a visitor which would not have normally been recorded. In this particular recording, there is also a distant, high-pitched call, which I believe is the little fellas, plus a noise I keep recording, but I don't know what it is. Looking at my footsteps and the visitor's footsteps, I'd say that the visitor is heavier than me, and the gate is larger than a wallaby, but not quite as big as mine. Nothing on the 360-degree plot watchers, but the CCTV camera and plot watcher team are working well. This was the only thing that the plot watcher caught, and checking with the corresponding CCTV files, it was easy to check the footage without a whole lot of trouble. Looking through the other footage, I found something that the plot watchers and trail cameras would not pick up at all. Something moving very fast through the ferns. Now I could go back and make a huge deal out of it, but I can't see it changing anything that we can already see. Whatever it is about 3.5 foot tall. It has no noticeable ears on top, which most Australian animals do. So it's not a wallaby or a kangaroo. It seems to have a pointy head, and it may be a large bird swooping through the ferns, but I would expect to see wings. I can guess what it could be, but I can't prove anything.